So, welcome back to video lessons, haha. It is April the 15th, it is a Monday, and we are starting adding and subtracting integers. You will see that this week, they're not just negatives, like it's positives, it's negatives, any number on the number line. I need you to think about this. For today, they are simpler numbers. Numbers that you will probably see on my number line up there, like from 20 to negative 20. But as the days go on, we've got to be able to do these with like negative 176 or positive 2000, which is not on the number line, okay? So that's why we kind of have to get these rules down. Eventually, you'll start seeing negative fractions and decimals. There's another little, bump in the road there. Next year, the beginning of the year, this is usually one of the first topics they teach. So what we're trying to do is kind of what's called bridge a gap, or kind of get you ready for 7th grade. Okay, so here we go. Okay, first thing we need to know, positive signs and plus signs are the same. Guys, if you see a plus sign, it is the same as a positive sign, meaning they mean the same thing. We got to kind of start changing our mind from thinking about plus as plus, but think about it as a positive. Okay? Negative signs and minus signs are the same. Okay, so if you see a negative or you see a minus, they mean the same thing. Same thing. Okay. Now, looking at the steps of how to do this. Here we go. The step one is, when you're looking at these problems, does everyone see these two problems?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We want to make sure there are no double signs. Basically, that's going to be the first thing we want to clean up, is any double signs. Now, double signs are in these two problems. These are the double signs. These two, and what I mean is double in the middle. And I'm going to be circling them. Like, I think it just helps if you kind of circle them, because we're going to change them. So step one is, I'm going to find any double signs and we're going to change them. Okay, here's how you change them. If they are the same signs, like these are both negatives, we're going to make it a positive. We're going to make it a plus. So right below it, I'm going to make it a plus sign, because we're going to rewrite them. Okay. If they are different signs, we're going to make it a negative. And we're going to literally just rewrite it right below it. So that's step one. Okay, now, the next step is on these double ones. Bring down the numbers that you were given. So like on this one, I was given a 3 and a 4. On this one, I was given an 8 and a 6. Now that you've rewritten it, just look at that problem. What is 3 plus 4?
7.
7. Like, we've known that one since kindergarten. That one's easy. Look at the next one. 8 minus 6. 2. We've known that since kindergarten. So, right now, those two were super easy because there was no negative, really, kind of. It's more like kindergarten, first grade math. Okay. Now, basically, I'm going to show you why those answers were the way they were. Not just because of kindergarten, because there are rules that apply. Okay? Now, there is something here called a step 2, where we add or we subtract. Well, here's an add and here's a subtract. That's what they're talking about. Okay? Now, I need you to look. The signs for each number are always in the front. I want you to think about what I'm saying. The signs of each number are always in the front. So, is this a positive 3 or a negative 3? Positive 3. That has been a positive number since kindergarten, okay? What is this 8 over here? Positive 8. Okay. If it doesn't have a sign, you know it's positive. Everybody good so far? Okay. Look at this one. This plus goes with that 4. So is it a positive 4 or a negative?
Positive.
Positive. Now look at the 6. That sign goes with the 6. So it is a negative. Now the reason I'm talking about that is, like, that sign, whatever's in front of it goes with that number. The reason we got to look at this is going into these two rules. Okay. If they have the same sign, so I want you to look. That was a positive 3. That was a positive 4, right? What do you think we do with them? Add. We add. We add. We literally add 4 and 3 to make 7.
So it's like plus means positive and positive means plus?
Yes.
Or
Kind of. So then the second thing, if they have different signs, remember this one was a positive, this one was a negative, we're going to subtract. Okay. So we subtracted 8 minus 6. Okay. The last rule, and you'll hear me say this 100 times, keep the sign of the larger number. Now, larger number meaning absolute value. So think about this. Is, like, if we look at this one, is 8 bigger or 6 bigger? Like, just the number 8 or the number 6? 8. That is why that's a positive 2. Because that's a positive 8, so my answer's positive. Keep the sign of the larger number. Okay, look at this one. Is 3 bigger or 4 bigger? 4. Keep the sign of the larger number. Positive 4 means positive 7. So the weird thing is this. There are rules to why things are what they are. We just don't teach you that in kindergarten. We use plastic teddy bears, as I call it. Okay? Counters, things like that. Now, basically, these rules apply all the way down, like for all the add and subtract. If you will kind of stick with me, we'll slowly get this embedded in our brains, okay?
But is multiply and divide completely different?
Yes.
No.
Yes. So, here we go. Don't stress yet. It's okay. Here we go. So, I'm going to start out by just doing like this first row. And I want to just stick with me and we'll get this. Don't try to go ahead of me. Y'all going to be lost. Okay. So, step 1. We're going to get rid of any double signs. Go in and we're going to circle if there's double signs. That one has doubles. That one doesn't. That one does. Okay, now, once I've circled them, and I'm only doing one row at a time. Okay. Does everybody see what I mean by the double signs? Okay. Okay, now, looking at the rules up here, if they're the same sign, we're going to make it a plus. If they're different signs, we're going to make it a minus. Okay, so are these the same signs or different? Same. So we're going to make it a plus. Down here, different signs, make it a minus. Okay. Next step, I'm going to copy the numbers down. This was a negative 3. Now listen, if it's in that circle, just bring down the 7. That one just gets to stay. This one's negative 10. And that one's an 8. Is everybody good so far? Okay. Now we go to step 2, the add or subtract part. Okay. you've got to look at each one. Like 3 is negative, 7 is positive. Okay, so looking up here at these rules, if they have different signs, subtract. So what is 7 minus 3? 4. Keep the sign of the larger number. Is 7 bigger or 3? 7. 7's positive, so my answer's positive. Done.
That was pretty easy.
Okay? So look at this. Same signs are different. Different. That's a negative 5 and that's a positive 2, right? So we do subtraction. So 5 minus 2 is 3. Keep the sign of the larger number. 5 is larger, so it needs to be negative 3.
Is it a lot less confusing than I thought?
Okay. Same signs are different. Same. So we're going to add.
It's 18.
Keep the sign of the larger number.
Well, they're both the same.
And they're both the same, so it doesn't matter. Like, if you can get these steps, like you already, some of you I can tell are already getting the steps. If you can just get them stuck in your brain, you'll be fine. You will use this all the way through high school. I just promise. Okay, so let's look at the next row. Okay. So, start out, any double numbers? Double signs, thank you. We're going to circle this one. Those two turn into a plus, I can't talk all of a sudden, positive or a plus. 13 and a 1. Okay. Now, that one we know, like off the top of our head, what is 13 plus 1? 14. But the rules still apply if you need them. Like, there is a reason it's 14. Okay, so look at this one. Are they the same sign or different?
They're different.
Different. That means we're going to subtract. What is 8 minus 0? 8. Keep the sign of the bigger number.
0 is bigger.
But listen, think of it as absolute value. Positive 8 or positive 0?
Because in positive,
The 8, right?
value is like the bottom.
So negative. Yeah. And listen, I want to just stop here a second because this is hard for me to teach this way. Like, the rules are easy, but my brain constantly resorts back to the number line. The problem is with the number line, in your future, you can't be making number lines up to the thousands. Or you can't be making number lines with fractions and decimals. Like, you'd be there all day. So we need you to kind of get it, the rules, but I want you to see why your answer is the way it is. Look, if you have negative 8 and you add nothing to it, I want you to think about it. You owe me $8. You don't give me any money. So how much money do you owe me? $8. You're still at negative 8. That's why it's negative 8. So look at the next one. If I'm at $13, positive 13, and you give me $1 more, I'm at 14. Like, we get it. Like, look at the next one. Okay. That's a positive. That's a negative. So, they're different signs. I'm sorry. Subtract. What's 15 minus 6? 9. Keep the sign of the larger number. Negative 9. Now, think about this. If I have $6, I have 6, but you owe me 15. We're going that way. When you owe me, we're going that way. Well, if you think about it, from 6 to 0 is 6. We got to go back 9 more. We're in the negative numbers. So the number line works. A lot of times if I get confused, I will in my brain go, okay, did I pass 0? If I pass 0 that way, it's negative. If I pass 0 that way, it's positive. So if any of that helps you to kind of check your work, I don't know, try it if it helps. Okay, so let's do this. Try the first row on the 1 through 4 on the back. Just try them, and then we're going to compare answers. Just the first row, because I don't want you doing them all wrong. It is the first time we've done this. So just do the first row. Just try the first row. Look at the rules in the front.
On number 3, would that be considered a double sign? With the plus sign?
Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Do you want to see?
Can you move on to the next row once we're done?
Okay. I'm sorry. I probably let y'all go a little early. I'm sorry. I wouldn't, I don't know. Let's try it. Okay. Let's circle all the double negatives first, or the double numbers. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew. Let me start over. Let's circle all the double signs. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, double signs. Double signs.
Double signs all the way.
Double signs, not. Okay. 2 negatives make a positive. 2 negatives make a plus. Positive negative makes a minus. Now I'm going to bring down all the numbers that were around it. Okay. Is everybody good so far? Okay, now, using the rules, okay, 2 positives, positive 6, positive 3, we add, and it doesn't matter because it's 9. 2 plus 7? 9. Okay, same signs. Listen, negative 8, negative 6, right here. If they have the same sign, we want to add. Same signs, add. What is 6 plus 8? 14. Keep the sign of the larger number. Negative 14. Because listen, bring it down. You got to change it.
No, the 6 isn't a negative because you got rid of its negatives.
Yeah, but wait a minute. When we rewrite it, officially that is a negative 6. And that is a negative 8. But I want you to think about this. If you owe me $8, and then you come to me and you borrow another $6, you now owe me how much? 14. So a lot of times with negatives, I literally change my brain into thinking about owing people money. Because that's what it means. I mean, that's the easiest thing we can kind of associate it with, I guess. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, we got we got a negative 4 and a negative 5. So we add them, and then it is negative 9. Keep the sign of the larger number. Uh-huh.
You know what I kind of remind me?
What?
What I kind of remind myself of? Is when you put $1 in the vending machine and don't give it back.
Yes. Yeah. It owes you $1. That's right. It happens quite often. Okay, so let's do the next round. Let's look. Any double signs? Double signs. Double signs. Ooh, a bunch of double signs. Okay. Let's change them.
And they're exactly the even amount of signs.
clean those up. Okay. So, this one is different signs. What are we going to do? Add or subtract?
Subtract.
Different signs. Subtract. 14 minus 6. 8. Keep the sign of the larger number. Because it goes back to this rule. If there's different signs, subtract. And that's negative 14, that's a positive 6. Remember, the sign's in the front.
I got negative 20.
Okay? So like even this one, I know 9 minus 8 is 1, but there is a reason. Listen, that is positive 9. That's negative 8. So, different signs subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1. Keep the sign of the larger number. 9's positive. 1's positive. Like, there's a reason it's 1. We just don't teach it this way in kindergarten. 2 plus 4. 6. Okay, 6 minus 3. 3. Good so far? Okay, try the next row. Let's see if we can kind of do this row without mistakes. Just try it.
Also, without getting punches.
Yes, that too.
Wouldn't the 6 be bigger because it's positive?
Okay, think about it as absolute value, though. Just a 6,
Oh.
just a 14.
Oh.
Yes, change it to absolute value. I know, and that's the weird part. Yes, if you know what you're doing, go for it. Give me just a second. Okay. Oh, hi. Okay, that's fine, bud. That's fine. Okay, so we'll get there. And I'm going to show you a few different things. Checking these, if you've already done them, like that one's just 11, we know that. 11 plus 3, I'm hoping you got positive 14. Okay, these are different signs. Subtract. Take the sign of the larger number. 18's bigger, so that should be negative 11. Okay, same signs, add. Keep the sign of the larger number.
Wait, how'd you get negative 11?
Okay, this is a negative and that one's a positive. So, different signs subtract. 18 minus 7 is 11. Keep the sign of the larger number. Absolute value larger. Like 18 is bigger than 7.
I got 24.
Okay, don't add because listen, different signs. Different signs subtract. So, and what you're looking at is this is a negative 18, and then that is a positive 7. That's why it's subtract. different signs. That's a negative, that's a positive.
Wait, number 16, do you change that,
Okay, wait a minute, I'm not there yet. One second. So I subtracted, and then,
change the ones that you circled?
okay, once you've circled it, and it's the two negatives make a positive. Now the rule is go to step 2, looking at the signs of each number. And since this one's negative, that one's positive, we subtract.
Yeah.
It is like that. It's confusing. That's why I'm like taking so long to kind of do it. Listen, I got a few questions. Some of you've moved on, and listen, let me explain a few things. Okay, I want you to think about this. If it is like -2 plus 2, I want you to think about this. You owe me $2. You give me $2. Like you owe me 2, but you give me 2. How much do you owe me now? 0. So think about it on the number line. If you're at -2 and you add 2, you're at 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But what if you owe me $10, but then you owe me another $10? Like you borrow 10 and then you borrow 10 more.
So it would be negative 20?
Negative 20. So you've got to kind of like this. The steps work, but to check your answer, sometimes I use like that kind of stuff. Okay.
So basically, when you're in the negative, whenever it says like negative 5 minus negative or like 4, do you make it like -9?
But listen, look at those rules. What number are you on?
Huh?
What number are you on?
Oh, I'm just asking a question.
Okay, it's kind of like this one there. So you got a -7. Does this help? Is this a good one? Okay, so like here, I want you to think about it. Are they both are they the same signs or different? Same signs. So same signs, add, right? Okay, so 7 plus 4. 7 plus 4. 11. Keep the sign of the larger number. So, -11, right? It's kind of like this. You owe me $7, and then you owe me another $4. But it's hard to read it that way. So, but that's why.
So really with like if you had -7 plus 3, you'd subtract?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's do this rep. Okay. We've got, okay, I need to change this one to minus. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it. Okay. So, 9 minus 10. Same signs are different. Different. That's a positive. That's a negative. So we need to subtract. 10 minus 9 is 1. Keep the sign of the larger number. -1.
I have a question. I'm not on the one you're on. I'm on number 19. Would that be a -1 because of the 20?
So, same signs are different.
Different. Wait, same.
Same. -6, -10. So, add, keep the sign of the larger number. 6 minus 3. 3. Like that one's just 6 minus 3. That one shouldn't be bad. But listen, same signs add. Because this is -6 and this is -10. Okay. I'm going to go through 17 just very step, like the way that we're supposed to. Here we go. Everybody with me. Okay, so I'm going to circle all my doubles. Double, double, and double. Okay. Now, I'm going to change it to pluses, to a plus, and to a plus. Okay. Bring down the math problem. That's a -5. That's a 2. 4 and 4. -15 and 6. Okay, so slow down, slow down. Okay. This one's a negative, that one's a positive. Different signs, subtract. 5 minus 2 is 3. Keep the sign of the larger number. -3. Everybody good on that one? Okay, 4 plus 4. 8. It's positive 8. Okay. 19's positive. 20 is negative.
So it'd be -1.
So we gotta subtract. 20 minus 19's 1. Keep the sign of the larger number. -1.
It's technically you're subtracting 19 from 20. Or just subtracting
Yes.
20.
Okay, different signs. Subtract. Keep the sign of the larger number.
Do you have an answer for number 12?
Okay, guys, I'm getting there. Here we go. Last round. I got doubles, doubles, doubles. Okay. Minus. Okay. Same signs or different?
Same.
Different. This one's minus, that one's plus. Subtract. 7 minus 7 is 0. 0 is neither negative or positive. It's just 0. Yes. It's just neither negative or positive. Okay. 22 is positive. 5 is negative. So subtract, which is 17. Keep the sign of the larger number. Okay. Negative and positive. Subtract. Keep the sign of the larger number. 2 negatives. Add. Keep the sign of the larger number. It is not 0. If you owe me 10 and we add 10 more to it, like you owe me 10 more. Listen, same signs add.
Yeah, but you add, but then how do you know which one? I know they're both the same.
Yeah. Okay, we will continue practicing this like the rest of this week. Keep these notes. Thank you. This was your homework. Hoping you've already got it.